Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Work Better Project. We have two of my very good friends with us, Lakita Caldwell and Robert Jackson. And they have a company called Raising the Bar. And their bio is in our, their bio is so long, first of all, and so amazing that we're not going to spend time on the recording, but we encourage you to read and get to know two of the coolest people on this planet. So Lakita and Rob, you started, speaking of raising the bar, you started Raising the Bar right before COVID changed our lives. So you started it in December of 2019. How has the nonprofit landscape changed? What were you expecting, I guess, going into this? And then how did COVID change that for you? Are some things working better? Are some things a lot harder and more difficult?
I will start that question first. I feel like the second part of your question is a whole segment by itself, the challenge coming post-COVID. So I'll start with what really grew us during COVID. It forced us to be more innovative and pivot quickly. So we really didn't have a lot of time to think or to plan, which is good sometimes because we really listen to the people that support Raising the Bar. We listen to their needs. One of the things we were able to do was to get a technology grant right away, and we were able to purchase technology to shape our building, but also to be able to give our clients who didn't have internet access and who didn't have maybe computers, they were able to have those, and we were able to connect and reach a lot of people virtually. So that was really good for us. And we found creative ways to work within the restrictions. So for instance, we had walking events where we gave out masks and provided people to still have connection, but still stay safe during COVID. So those were some things that really helped us really build. And even post-COVID, we stayed creative and innovative and learned to really maximize our time. Instead of hosting a lot of events, we realized that quantity is better, not quantity, but quality is better than quantity, to make sure that we are, honoring people's time.
Yeah, I would also piggyback off what Keita said. And, I thought we really found out what really matters to us. I think during that time, we were able to spend a lot of time with our families. And, we was able to just kind of pause and really find out what really matters. And, that made us get creative, like Keita said, and being able, we knew we wanted to reach the community, and we still wanted to be able to serve the youth at a high level. And so, we had to find creative ways to still be able to serve the community. And, we was, working tireless. I thought we got a chance to really reflect and spend a lot of time with each other, just building our brand. And, it was a scary time. We didn't know, what was going to happen, but we knew that we had to fight, for our community. We had to fight for the people that we love. And it was just a great opportunity for us to really build. And I think coming out of it, COVID, being where we are now, I thank God for, putting us in a position to be able to still serve then and, continue to serve our community, which we love.
Yeah. It sounds like you were able to gain really valuable skills just in general, but you couldn't not build those because it was the time of COVID. And of course, you start Raising the Bar in December of 2019. Then COVID happens like 3 months later, March of 2020. And then, Black Lives Matter really hits an apex after Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd's murder. What was it like building a movement virtually? Because you played a significant role in bringing a whole texture to that conversation that hadn't been there, from the arts perspective and so forth. So what was that like, doing organizing and elevating a movement in the time of COVID?
Again, I think,
Go ahead.
no, you go, Rob.
You can start.
No, you go.
You want me to start? Well, okay. I will say during that time, I remember Keita. She ran. We stayed really close together, and she ran, and she basically said that she had a vision, and her vision was, and I'll let her explain that vision, how God gave it to her, because I can't, repeat that vision. But this was a time where I knew that we had to come together. We had a lot of, friends and a lot of people that we knew that kind of was affected by what was going on and what we were dealing with. And so, she came to me, she told me the vision, and, we really kind of rolled our sleeves up, and it came, to her, exactly. And we was able to, really rally a lot of, the people in the community. We got a lot of people to kind of bag us or whatever. It was just so many negative things going on, and we wanted to bring something positive. We wanted to bring light to the situation, and and still continue to give people hope. And so I'll let Keita kind of share the vision and what God gave her and how we was able to come together.
Well, because they can was what came to me as a vision, and to really host this movement on the day that our country was founded, which was July the 4th, where America celebrates everything, Independence Day. And I started to think, after I think it was George Floyd, my heart was grieving. And it took me back to Emmett Till, when a young boy who was persecuted because he whistled at someone. And I was devastated. I thought in America, we were about to celebrate Independence Day, but we really hadn't stopped and taken the time to simply grieve together. And I started to think about all the men who I loved. And I was really afraid for them. I thought about my dad, my uncle, my business partner, and just so many people. And then just hearing the weight of every time you turn on the news, another person's life is taken. And it was devastating. And so what we did, and Libby was really a part of the movement as well, is we hosted, alongside a church, Unity Gospel House of Prayer, we hosted a peaceful walk in the community. And we got the Milwaukee police to be a part of it, because not all cops are bad. And we knew that in order for us to really change, we had to come together. And so as you were sharing art, we used music, we used poetry. And what moved me the most is every person who had lost their life due to violence. We mentioned their name. We worked with Miss Sherry Williams Pennell, and she would mention their name. And even the media came out. They were a part of that community that helped give us a moment of just not keep going through and keep watching the news. But we took a moment and we just grieved together. And what was beautiful, it was just that it was one Milwaukee that came together, and we marched. It was hot that day, I remember. And we marched. The men had on black suits and we wore veils, as if we were going to a funeral, but to really grieve the fact that another life was lost. And even though it may not have been someone in my family, they were still part of the American family. It was empowering.
The thing that comes to mind is, how important ritual is, the ritual of grieving, and to do it at that scale. I didn't see the reels. I don't live in Milwaukee, but just to think about that procession of people together grieving, it's powerful.
Yeah, it was incredibly powerful. And everything that Lakita does when she puts these amazing events together is like, it's not only powerful to go to, but it's and moving, but like the music was amazing. You and Sherry, like your singing, and Pastor Locke. I mean, it was just like, it was like seeing a concert. It was really lovely and very powerful. But I'll put the YouTube day in the chat, or in our link, so we'll have that to show. It was lovely. So that's not the only, you started your own. nonprofit, but you contribute to a lot of nonprofits that started before, well before COVID. Some of them, since you both worked at the Boys and Girls Club, you have lots of connections there, and you've helped with moving some of those organizations forward. So do you feel like you have been sort of the experts on how to move things forward in the nonprofit sector during virtual times? Or, what would you say you learned? Because you knew how to do this before times. So what do you think has helped or is needs to be different, or that people who are starting organizations maybe might want to consider now?
Yeah, I would start out by saying, raising a bar was something that me and Lakita, we talked about. It's something that we wanted to do. We have been doing nonprofit work with the Boys and Girls Club forever. And we wanted to kind of create our own identity. And so that's how Raising the Bar was birthed. I just think it's a matter, I think, we do a great job of coming together. I think it's a lot of things that she's really good at that I'm not, and I lean on her for that. And it's things that I'm good at that she's not, and she lean on me. So I just think it's one of the best things that we've ever done, because I think, it's a lot of things that we wanted to do, been working for a nonprofit organization that we wasn't able to move forward. And so now, we have, the opportunity to, me and her kind of come together, talk about different things, and then execute the plan, you know what I mean? And so that, makes us feel really good, because, at the end of the day, we love our community, we love the city of Milwaukee, and we want everyone around us to just be better. And so we thought, even with coming with Raising the Bar is just, I'm very competitive, just, being able to play sports, all my life. And, we want to just be the best that, that we can be at everything that, that we can be. And we know that we have a lot of people that look up to us. We have a lot of people that, that's dependent on us, and especially with, my kids, that's looking up and watching me every day. They have someone to look up to that's positive. And I just think, Raising the Bar was an opportunity for us to really find our way and get into our lane and be able to partner with a lot of people that, we have met going along this journey, and one of the best things, I can say is, meeting you, Libby, and then just allowing you to come in and be able to just help and support, at any way that we need it. You have always been there for us. And so we, always appreciate that. We always tell you that, but we literally can say when we were hosting our first event, and I can remember the Christmas event that we had, it's a lot of kids, don't give an opportunity to have toys or get toys on Christmas Day. And so to being able to support those families, at that time of need, we're truly grateful for it, and just grateful for your support, and, always bringing your family around and just supporting us, because at that time, we may have had a budget of, $5,000, and we were spending money out of our own pocket, trying to provide for families. And, now, we're, been continuing to partner with people, and, been getting a lot of more support from different, organizations and foundations. So.
Yeah, well, you all do such amazing work. It's very easy to help out because you're so organized and you have it all together. So it was really fun. It was those kids saw the tallest Santa Claus that they've ever seen in their entire life, because it was Rob being Santa Claus, and he was ducking between the doorways. It was so fun.
Lakita, can I come to you on this question too? Do you feel like remote work or post-COVID work is a benefit for Raising the Bar, or for any of the other nonprofits you work with? Is it a hindrance? Is it a mixed bag? Like, how are you thinking about this new way that we're all trying to work better?
I honestly believe in remote work, because there were so many people post-COVID who had anxiety about going back into the office. And I just think of someone like myself who is most creative at a certain time of the day, but very effective in producing outcomes. And so I think that was one of the lessons that we learned through COVID, is that, people were able to be around their families. They were able to find, like, for instance, during COVID, to be able to work from the park, because nature is very calming to me. And my productivity would be higher there. So I think we should really take a look at and then people save money. So their car, there wasn't so much wear and tear on their car. They were able to save money for gas, but just like I think Robert said earlier on, that we honored people's time and really thought about what was precious to them. But there were so many, if you look, I was reading Forbes the other day, and it just talked about half of the people who've come back after COVID have high anxiety. They've fallen back into the lull of not taking care of themselves. So shout out to Libby, who is part of this movement we're doing with women who are leaders. And it's called Sisters Breaking Bread. And every quarter we meet up and we do an event. We have one tomorrow at Spin Milwaukee. We support a woman-owned business, and we do some sort of art activity, we do a physical activity, but we also break bread. Tomorrow our topic is on when are you honoring yourself, and just getting us to network and really think about, when Mother Teresa died, there was still work to be done. And so really to think about, if we run ourselves ragged, what happens. But it's just, it baffles me after COVID that everyone's went back to normal and we were implementing it during COVID, but after COVID, we kind of, like I shared, went back into the lull.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the research definitely bears that out, that productivity has gone down since we've been back to the office, not up, down.
Yeah.
And so with raising the bar, we're very aware and sensitive to that. And we even are very more thoughtful about the events that we host. When we first started, it seemed like we had an event every other day. But now we have events. Like I said, the women's event is every quarter, because we really, like Robert is doing events for men, but we still want to have our touch point with women in the work that we do with young people. But we also want to be sensitive that we're not over having events that people feel, because they love, some people love us and they will show up, but we don't want to over tire out our clients and are the people who help support and make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I remember the two of you, like, almost immediately being experts at these little Zoom messages that you would do. It was really cool, and so you, I mean, nobody was an expert at the time, so you two were amazing at it. And Lakita, I saw something that you did, I think last week at Starbucks, and, you were kind of, and it was like, you were doing during COVID. So that was really cool.
And I even work with women in Birmingham, England. So I hosted during COVID a workshop for I'm Not Your Superwoman with women all the way in England. So I felt like the innovation during COVID was brilliant, and the reach was far. Like, who would have thought I would be doing workshops all the way in England, and I'm in Milwaukee? That blew my mind.
Yeah, that's cool. I almost forgot about that, until you just mentioned that. But yeah, you were doing that right away. That's really cool.
So Robert and Lakita, where are the best places for people to find you? If they're like, I got to learn more about this tall Santa Claus, or what's this lady doing workshops in England? What's the best way for people to find you?
So we have an Instagram page. Rob, do you want to share our Instagram page?
You can share it. You mean share it in the chat? Share it in the chat?
Yes, I'm going to share that in the chat. But Rob forgot to mention something else that he did during COVID. So I'm going to shout him out myself. Robert wrote a whole book for men during COVID.
What's it called, Robert?
Every Shot Counts. At the start, Every Shot Counts. And it, caters to a lot of men. I think it's a great book. During that time, me and Lakita used to go on walks, and a lot of things used to come to my mind. And so I just started putting things on paper, and then, was able to birth a book. So that was another exciting thing that happened during that time that I'm really grateful for.
Man, I feel like I'm sitting still next to you two.
No kidding. Okay, so it is at Raising the Bar MKE, all one word, lowercase.
Yeah. And our website is www.raisingthebar. Oh no, I don't want to say
It's
that.
rtbwisconsin.org.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, rtbwisconsin.org. That's it.
Yep.
Cool. That's great. Well, it is always so amazing to see both of you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for doing everything that you do.
Thank you as
Thank you for
well.
having
Thanks for
us.
having us.
You bet.